Dive into this. So you Capricorns have Death card, the Ten of Pentacles. A lot of you Capricorns are very much so leaving the disappointment that a lot of you have had in the past, that you have learned to get over when it comes to somebody. And the Ten of Pentacles is about how, because of it, because you're learning to get over it, right, you're going out a little bit more, right? You know what it is that you want, right? Three of Cups, so you're going out a little bit more, trying to find the correct person for yourself. And the Ten of Pentacles, like I said, is what it is that you want long term, right? Capricorn usually thinks of something long term, but the problem is that a lot of you Capricorns sometimes don't necessarily know how to get it. And like it is, I said before, a lot of you have to watch out for that type, right? Having that type, that type of person, the tall, dark, handsome. Yeah, that's not gonna come to you. Not like that. Not what you think. More than often, it doesn't happen like that, right? And the world is wrapped up in that type, that archetype. So a lot of you Capricorns are realizing that archetype that you're looking for is hogwash, and you should probably just date, right? And get with somebody that actually has a certain level of respect for you in the first place. So the Three of Wands now is about how, since that's the case, you finally reached a point within your own development that you actually needed to come to for a very long time now. Because now the Three of Wands represents, now you're ready to date from a more honest perspective, okay? You're ready to date from a more honest perspective. Because see, when you're looking for the type, and what I mean when I say the type, because we're talking real here, okay? If we need to tell the truth here. A lot of Capricorns that don't know any better, a lot of Capricorns who are practicing the wrong practices when it comes to finding somebody, a lot of y'all will have a type, an archetype, right? A stereotype: tall, dark, and handsome, muscular, tattooed, someone that, on the other side, someone that has a nice body, a nice face, the archetype. And that type is part of the reason why a lot of Capricorns don't end up being with somebody. And this ain't just me saying it. This is other astrologers saying the same thing. That archetype that a lot of Capricorns have is part of the reason why a lot of y'all don't have somebody. Because when a Capricorn is in that type of mentality, they will be married and they'll still be looking for a type. And it's like, what are you doing? You married. Ready to cheat on the person. So now that a lot of you Capricorns have learned to get over that type, right? Trying to find this person to make you look good, that's on your arms, this trophy person or whatnot. Now the Three of Wands, now that you've learned to let that go, because that's a part of the ego, now you Capricorns are in position now to actually find someone that works for you. Because a lot of the times when a Capricorn is in that crocodile energy, right, or that goat energy, trying to scale, well, not crocodile, because crocodile is trying to survive, but in that goat energy of trying to scale upward, trying to escalate, trying to be a social climber, right? A lot of y'all really don't seem to understand that when you're doing that, you're only going to get shallow interactions exclusively. Because the true interactions, you have to settle for this. That's the scenario. You'll have someone that will be almost perfect, but they're not going to be exactly everything it is that you're looking for. And that's just how life is. Life is not set up to where everything is supposed to be perfect. That's the point. That's quite literally the point. So when you have the Three of Wands in the Chariot represent Cancer crabs. This is about how, now that a lot of you Capricorns have finally learned to get over the ego when it comes to that type of stuff, now this is a situation where you Capricorns you will have a better time actually getting to know other people. And now you'll be able to actually date people from a more real perspective, because now it's not coming from a perspective of how much money they make. How much money do they make a year? That song and dance, that whole talk that you see people like Kendra G, talking about, yeah, that's a Capricorn thing. The needing to be, 2 doctors and 2 rocket scientists and, and having the same amount of money. Yeah, that's a Capricorn thing, right? So now that a lot of you Capricorns are not on that, you're dating for character first and foremost. Now, again, does the person need to have a certain amount of looks? Absolutely. But the looks does not overshadow the principle of needing to have internal value, right? So and this is what I mean, as long as they are decent looking, this is what I'm talking about. As long as they are decent looking, I'm not coming from the perspective of, being crazy or whatnot. You should be able to get to know them. So the Seven of Wands is about how, and that's going to be just as much work, because getting to know somebody, getting to find the correct person for you, a person who isn't just out here trying to, get people caught up with their looks or whatever, finding the correct person, just period, is a difficult, I ain't gonna say it's too difficult, but it's gonna take some patience. And the reason why is because there's so many people who can act like they're decent people when in actuality they're really not. So you have to take the time to get to know them. And the Nine of Cups now is about how, since this is the case, right? The Nine of Cups is about how, so you have to let the relationship happen, right? The Nine of Cups, you have to let it happen, because the King of Wands is about, if it ends up being a power struggle, that's how it is that you Capricorns know that you shouldn't really be with the person, right? Especially just in general, right? And this is what it is that I mean. Like, you have people out here who think that testing the person is really supposed to work. And like, I'm trying to tell y'all what it is. That doesn't work. That's not working anymore. Because you cannot, this is what I've been saying, you cannot treat people like trash and expect them to stick around. That's stupid. That doesn't work in reality, and it's not working anymore. So now the Seven of Cups and the Ace of Wands is about how, so you Capricorns also have to understand that you have people that are interested in you, right? So stop acting like you will accept or you should accept somebody to do that. And make sure that you don't do that. Because when they stop talking to you, if you're doing that, don't act like you're surprised. And then the Ace of Wands is about how, since that's the case, right? This is about how, for you, you have woken up. So now it's time. So now you are at least 2 steps ahead of a lot of other people, because you're actually dating for the correct reasons now. And you've joined the club when it comes to reality. Because there's definitely people who date in a delusional world, in a delusional way. And then there's people who have woken up to the fact that, look, they're not the flyest person in the world. And that's okay. As long as you're striving for excellence, not to look at somebody else as a trophy, or try to prove it to other people that they are a trophy and that they're worthy of being had or whatever, but more so of chasing self-improvement because it's something that they want to do, then that is what is the principle of what makes it right to do. And that a lot of people who date in that real world perspective, those people are successful a lot of the time. I ain't gonna say a lot of times. I'll say sometimes, because there's a lot of people who honestly there's a lot of people who want to date for real but do not get what it is that they want, because the majority of people are dating in a delusional world. So a lot of people who are now really able to be real with themselves and date for real, right, in a real way, in an honest way, they can be single for a while because the majority of people are delusional. Like I said, because human beings as a species really got a problem with a messiah complex and an ego. They're down bad in that sense because they really can't get over this idea of you not that fly. No matter who it is, no matter how handsome or physically attractive they are, you still not that fly. Because you still need to work on your personality. You still need to work on your finances. You still need to work on this. Still need to work on that. So a lot of people are really not ready for that. But let's clarify some of these cards. Let's clarify the King of Wands. Let's clarify the King of Wands. Oh, snap. Oh. Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Wands, King of Wands. Ooh, hold on. Empress, Ace of Wands. So the the Eight of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands. Yeah. And now a lot of you Capricorns were missing that one element. So now your value got raised even more because this is not from an ego perspective the way that it used to be. So now you're able to relate to a lot more people because let's face it, because the thing about Capricorn that kind of squanders a lot of y'all game from being more attractive is that a lot of Capricorns can be bossy because you're looking for a type, and it's like, listen, a lot of Capricorns, see, this is the thing when it comes to Capricorns and their success when it comes to dating. And I dated some Capricorns, so I know personally, right? You gotta chill out from the being bossy situation. You're not people's bosses. Okay? You have to learn that when you're dating people, there is a such thing as free will. Okay? You come out here trying to boss people around, you're turning them off. I'm letting you know what it is. You're turning them off. Okay? People want to hear your perspective, and you should be with somebody that will listen to your perspective, but you're not bossing them around. You're offering your perspective. So the Empress and the Ace of Wands now is about, so you need to, that's your homework. You need to understand the differences between the two, because that will instantly make more of you Capricorns more attractive. Okay? So the Empress and the Ace of Wands represent, however, if it's a power struggle in the perspective of, what do I mean when I say a power struggle? I mean, if this person is giving you their number, or y'all exchange numbers, or they text you, or they reach out to you only when you reach out to them first, that is something that you need to let go of. If you find yourself being in a position where you have to do everything first, even though they will talk to you, but they have to do everything first, you got to leave them alone. So that's something that you need to watch out for. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Peace.